the kind of joy you feel in your heart when you finally passed your driving test in the UK or maybe abroad, because I know that it's not the same thing back home. Like, it is way easier to pass your driving test back home compared to what it is abroad or what it is in the UK, right? So if you've passed your driving test or you're still, trying to pass, you can relate so well with me in this video. So today, I've decided to share with you all that happened behind the scene before I finally passed my driving test, okay? It's interesting, it's dramatic. Anyway, come closer if you're in for real gist. Let's dive straight into it. So first of all, before I came into the country, like, I already know that I want to drive, right? So I started my driving practical back home, but I didn't get the chance to drive confidently before I moved to the UK. So immediately after my driving practical, I came to the UK, okay? So when I moved to the UK in 2020, after staying for some time, in 2022, I decided to go and sit for my theory test, right? So I studied, went for the theory test and passed at first attempt. So I thought that everything is going to be easy. Oh, I passed my theory test at first attempt. I'll book for my practical test and I'm going to also pass at first attempt. So I thought. I didn't even know that I am in for real drama. So, after passing my theory test, May 2022, I went ahead to book my driving practical, right? I started practicing. I think I booked it ending of 2022 because, most times when you want to book, you don't see available slots. You will see dates from 6 months time. I don't know why it's that. I don't know if it's like that in your city. Let me know in the comment section. So, but for my own city where I live, it's the available date I saw. It was very far. So towards ending of that 2022, I booked it. I started practicing. I didn't even pay for driving instructors. Why will I even pay them when I have someone who is a professional driver? Like, my husband drives so well. So I didn't even think of paying anyone else to teach me how to drive, right? So we did some practice. He tried so well, even though I failed, but he did his best. It's probably not the best time for me. It's probably not the right time for me to pass, yeah? So I started practicing and all that. And on the day of my exam, I went with confidence. To me, I was going to pass. I mean, what is there? So I thought I was going to pass, right? I went for the practical. My driving instructor, if you see his face, very mean man. He wasn't even smiling. But I was telling myself, oh, ignore. I mean, that today with the see face. I just kind of was giving myself the confidence. Ignore this man's face. Come on, girl, you've got it. You're going to pass. Then, on the wheel, I was doing what I thought is best, After 40 minutes of the test, we came back to the driving center. And the man said, unfortunately, you have not passed this time. And I asked what happened. So he told me that there was a place I came to. It was a stop junction that I didn't stop completely. Okay? And that was true. I didn't see myself stopping completely. I kind of slowed down, looked right and left before proceeding. So he said because I didn't stop completely, that was my major fault. And other minor faults he gave me were my positioning. He said at junction, I didn't position my car very well at the junctions. So I said, okay, I took the feedback. I was so sad. I I just told myself I'm not going to book this test again. Like, I felt so sad. I felt all the ginger, all the zeal to get my UK driving license disappeared instantly. But I had to like encourage myself. I said it's not the end of life. Come on, girl. It's an opportunity for you to work on those areas he mentioned, right? So, but I took some time. I didn't book another test straight away. So I waited till next year. In 2023, I booked another test. That test was meant to happen in April 2023, right? So I practiced and practiced. I worked on my car positioning and all that from the feedback I got from the last test. I worked on all of that. I became more aware of the junctions, the signs and all of that, so I don't make the same mistake. On the day of the exam, that is that second test that I booked, April 2024, on that day, I went with my car. That time I was driving Pojo. It's a Pojo car, one door. I went with it, and immediately the driving instructor came out. Immediately we came out from the center for me to enter the car. She said that this test will not hold. I looked at her. I'm like, why? Why won't it hold? She told me that I don't have a valid MOT. If you see me, I was just looking like FOOL, a big one at that. Do you know that my MOT expired a day before the test? I didn't even know. It didn't even come to my mind that my MOT was expiring. And I went to the driving center with a car that has no valid MOT. I was so shocked. Like, I felt so stupid. But what will I do? That was how the test was cancelled. It didn't happen. So I had to rebook, and there was no refund. I just felt so bad for myself. But at some point, I felt happy because maybe had it been I didn't even go for this test, I may be driving around with this car. And what happens when police people will see me with that? It will be another big problem, right? So I just told myself that it's a blessing in disguise. I consoled myself, but then I didn't have the urge to rebook again. Plus, my theory test was expiring. You know, it only takes 2 years. I took the first test May 2022. So, since my practical driving test did not hold that April, it's very hard for me to see another closest date to book. So that theory test expired, and I had to rewrite my theory test all over again. Well, theory test is not a problem to me. I booked the theory test and I passed it again. So days passed, weeks passed, months passed. I didn't have any interest to rebook again. But again, the essence of driving, the importance of driving can never be underestimated. I mean, it's very, very important. I go to work. I have to drive to work. My child is going to school. You have to take her to school. My husband will not be there all the time. And it's not even good to drive with only provisional driving license. You need your UK driving license to be safe. If you're using provisional, someone should be there with you. So you understand. So I just needed to pass. That gingered me, and I booked again for the third time. So I rebooked the test again for the third time, and it was around April 2023. So just a day before my driving practical day, I told myself, since I have a longer car, that is Mercedes car, why not, get another car from a friend? First of all, I tried to go through a driving instructor, because that third time I said I am going to pass. Like, nothing is ever going to make me not to pass. I contacted the driving instructor, did some training, and then I tried to book the instructor's car, but he wasn't available for that day I booked, right? So I decided, okay, to get a friend's car, a smaller one. I ditched my own car to get a friend's smaller car. In my head, it is very easier to maneuver, easier for me to pass, right? I didn't know that I have signed another trouble. Well, this friend warned me that the coolant is leaking, but it's just a little fault, like it's leaking very small. So it's not something that will cause a major problem, right? As long as I topped it up, I topped the coolant up, it will be enough for me to go for the test. So I thought. So on the morning of that test day, I topped the coolant, mastered the car, drove around with the car, and I came back, ate, and then went back to the test center for my exam. Now, I didn't remember to recheck the coolant. I thought, oh, I've already topped it up in the morning, it's going to serve me. Then I went to the exam center. Immediately we came out, with the examiner, the first question this woman asked me was, can you open your bonnet and show me where the coolant is? Looks like my village people were at work. Immediately I opened the bonnet, all the coolant has evaporated. Nothing was there. The woman looked at me. She looked at the car closely and said, oh, it's cracked. It's cracked. That's why everything leaked. And because of that, this test will not hold. I'm like, again, cancellation of test for the second time. And this is like the third test I booked. I was so speechless. So I told her, can I add water? Because I don't have coolant, but I can add water to it, right? Can I add water so that we can have the test? She said, no, you cannot add water. It has to be coolant. I said, okay, can I go and bring another car? And I want to go and bring my car. Can I go and bring another car? Can I go and bring another car? But she said no. She said that she can't wait for me. We're supposed to go for the test now. That she's sorry. The test has been cancelled. I just said to myself, why is my village people following me up and down? I don't even know what to do. I was so speechless. I was so sad at the same time. Like, why is all this thing happening? Why can't they just allow me to sit for this test and give me my driving license? And I was so ready for this test. I already paid for an instructor. I had some driving session. I was so ready. But this happened. The test was cancelled. What was I supposed to do? It was just regret. I regretted taking my friend's car. I would have just come straight with my car. I mean, but it is what it is. Things happen at times. We don't think things twice, The initial plan, I was thinking it's easier to maneuver with a smaller car and all of that. If only I had known. So I was just filled with regrets. Then I went home. I just said that I'm not booking again. No, my husband, you should be driving us wherever we're going. I am just tired. I was just fed up. Then fast forward to 2025, early this year, February 2025, I booked again. So I booked it that 2024 ending actually. And I saw a slot, February 2025. I picked the date. This time around, I was just so determined to pass. I also contacted my driving instructor again. I told him I've booked a date. No, before I booked that date, I made sure that he's available. So I called him. He said yes, he's available. Then I booked the date. We had some driving session, 5 driving session before my test date. So on that day, 20th of February 2025, I went with so much confidence in me. I said, this 2025 is my year. I am going to pass. They're going to give me my UK driving license. Plus, my driving instructor did a good job, He taught me all the things I needed to know, taught me how to avoid mistakes and all that, how to work on my nerve and all that. So, on that day, I went in. I was assigned an invigilator or supervisor. What do we even call them? So when we came out, I pointed to my car. You know, all the eyesight tests. They'll ask you to read a car vehicle. They'll ask you to read a plate number from a distant car. So I read that. I showed her my car, and we drove off. 40 minutes test. I was just so careful. That woman was initiating conversations and all that. So even while we were discussing, I was being very careful, looking at the road signs and all of that. I don't even want to make mistakes. We went to 20 mph road, we went to 30, we went to 50 mph road, and I was just being careful this time, praying that everything will become successful. Now, at the end of the test, we went back to the test center, and she asked me if I want my driving instructor to be around while she give me the feedback. I said yes. So my driving instructor came, and she said, "Congratulations, you've passed." Ooh. And I was so happy. I even cried, like, oh my God, finally. I said, finally, thank you so much, thank you so much. So she gave me my driving certificate and told me that my driving license will be arriving in few days time. Oh, I was so happy, to finally pass my driving practical. So if you're out there, you're listening to me, you're still struggling to pass, maybe you've attempted it once, twice, don't give up, okay? Just keep on booking, do your best, and be hopeful that this next time when you try, you're going to pass, okay? Don't lose hope at all. Keep the fire burning. Next time, you are going to pass, okay? So this is my story. I don't know what your story is. Can you drop it in the comment section? Can you share your story? Did you pass at first attempt? Let me know in the comments. Second attempt, third attempt, fourth attempt. Let me know in the comments. You might be encouraging someone else, okay? Please drop it in the comment section to encourage someone else. All right? This is the end of my story, and I hope you've learned and you enjoyed my story at the same time. I'll see you guys in my next video. My name is Ali. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.